Good evening. I thought, since this is the first time we're using this space for drama, it's been used for concerts before, that I ought to come forward like the chorus in Henry V and say the kind of thing that the chorus in Henry V says. So, to start with a note of caution, remember this is a semi-staging, a concert performance, barely any rehearsal. Everyone in Cambridge seems to be dashing from pillar to post. There's a zero budget. This, I should explain, is the costume of the cast, right? Primark yesterday. So everything is new to us. There's going to be rough edges. But, having said that, the two plays that we're bringing forward are by the two of the greatest writers of all time. And we're not without a little bit of expertise and experience now. If you looked at the programme on page 7, I was quite impressed by the list of things that we've managed to do over the last 8 years. Anyway, for those who've never seen one of these things before, I'm going to give you a rough idea of what will happen in the case of the Homer. The Homer's going to be the second play. So, the first slide, please. As the text is being read aloud, you'll be able to follow it slide by slide on the huge screen, where a typical slide looks like what you're seeing there. You'll have the surtitles bottom left and top right, a portrait head, chosen in this case arbitrarily to represent that character in the play and associated with that character the whole way through. So you'll know, without looking at the person reading, who is the character doing it. Sometimes, next slide please, there is also an illustration of what is being talked about. Again, if possible, I try and take it from within classical art, but very occasionally and very nicely, it's a freshly drawn image by Sam Motherwell, who contributed also the thing on the front of your programme, and I hope you'll enjoy Sam's work. And then the mood of the words and the images and the voices is introduced and held up and punctuated by music for the harp, as you will hear before and after. Now, this evening, once you've got the idea of the Homeric conventions, we're going to start with the Shakespeare, and in this case there won't be any translations. Then there will be moments, I think, when you may wish there were translations, but I think you'll be able to follow okay. The portrait heads, next slide please. The portrait heads I've chosen to represent the 6 characters in the play. They're not coming from Athenian classical art, even though in theory the play is set in Athens, but they come from the time when the play was written. Would you come right the way across so we've got for latecomers not hitting the microphone, to the far side, okay. There is evidence that this play, the Two Noble Kinsmen, was composed in association with the court wedding of Elizabeth Stuart, daughter of King James and Queen Anne, in about 1613. And so what I did was to take that as my cue and use heads associated with that wedding, most of them are portraits in the Master's Lodge, to identify the characters. So what you're seeing here is the 6 characters with the real names first of the people, James, Anne, Elizabeth and so on. In the next slide, please. You'll see it turned round. Now you have the character first and who the historical figure really behind them was. And then finally you get it just with their names. Thank you. So that's how you recognise the 6 characters in the play, and that's why they look like early Jacobeans, because that's the time of the play. Now then, during the prelude and the first scene, next slide please, I'm going to show you some images from a wonderful manuscript of the Boccaccio poem, which lies ultimately behind the play, the Teseida, and so they will enable you to enjoy how the story works there. And we'll also, next slide please, project some of the lovely colloquial stage directions to enable you to follow what is going on. So I think with that bit of help, the characters and the illustrations and the stage directions, you'll be able to follow the story well enough. But keep those words of the chorus of Henry V in mind, right? This wooden cockpit, for want of a better word, cannot contain the vasty fields of Troy or Lycia. You've got to use your imaginations once we start. So we're stimulating you by images, by voices, by music and so on, but piece out our imperfections with your thoughts, and it'll go well. We're going to start, by the way, with the Kinsmen from Thebes, and we can show that now. This will last just over half an hour in rehearsal. There'll then be a brief pause, but not an interval, so please don't leave or anything. We'll just tidy up and change the PowerPoint, and then we'll go on to the Homer second, that's the heart of the matter, and that's just over half an hour, 35 minutes or so, so it's a fair amount. So thank you, that's the introduction. You all know what to expect. I'm going to withdraw, put on my costume, and we're now going to appear, and the proceedings will start. Thank you.
let them enter, and before the gods tender their holy prayers. Let the temples burn bright with sacred fires, and the altars in hallowed clouds commend their swelling incense to those above us. Let no dew be wanting. They have our noble work in hand.
Sir, they enter.
You valiant and strong-hearted enemies, you royal germain foes, that this day come to blow that furnace out that flames between ye. Lay by your anger for a while, and dove-like before the holy altars of your helpers, the all-feared gods, bow down your stubborn bodies. Your ire is more than mortal, so your help be. I leave you to your prayers, and betwixt ye I part my wishes.
Honour crown the worthiest.
The glass is running now that cannot finish till one of us expire. Think you but thus, that were there aught in me which strove to show mine enemy in this business but one eye against another, arm oppressed by arm, I would destroy the offender, coz. I would, though parcel of myself. Then from this gather how I should tender you.
I am in labour to push your name, your ancient love, our kindred, out of my memory. So hoist we the sails that must these vessels port, even where the heavenly limiter pleases.
You speak well. Before I turn, let me embrace thee, cousin. This I shall never do again.
One farewell.
Why let it be so? Farewell, coz.
Farewell, sir. Knights, kinsmen, lovers, true worshippers of Mars, go with me before the God of our profession. There require of him the heart of lions and the breath of tigers, yea, the fierceness too, yea, the speed also, to go on, I mean. Else wish we to be snails. You know my prize must be dragged out of blood. Our intercession then must be to him that makes the camp a cistern brimmed with the blood of men. One, that with thy power hast turned green Neptune into purple, whose approach comets pre-warn, who doth pluck with hand omnipotent from forth blue clouds the masoned turrets, that both makest and breakest the stony girths of cities, me, thy pupil, youngest follower of thy drum, instruct this day with military skill, that to thy praise I may advance by streamer, and by thee be styled Lord of the Day. Give me, great Mars, some token of thy pleasure. Oh, great corrector of enormous times, that heals with blood the earth when it is sick, and cures the world of the pleurisy of people, I do take the signs auspiciously, and in thy name to my design march boldly. Let us go.
Our stars must glister with new fire, or be today extinct. Our argument is love, which, if the goddess of it grant, she gives victory too. To the goddess Venus commend we our proceeding, and implore her power unto our party. Sovereign Queen of secrets, who hast power to call the fiercest tyrant from his rage and weep unto a girl, that hast the might, even with an eye glance, to choke Mars's drum and turn the alarm to whispers, that canst make a cripple flourish with his crutch and cure him before Apollo, that mayst force the king to be his subject's vassal, and induce stale gravity to dance. What godlike power hast thou not power upon? Take to thy grace me, thy vowed soldier, who do bear thy yoke as to a wreath of roses, yet is heavier than lead itself, stings more than nettles. I have never been foul-mouthed against thy law, never revealed a secret, for I knew none, would not, had I kenned all that were. I knew a man of 80 winters, who a lass of 14 brided. 'Twas thy power to put life into dust. The aged cramp had screwed his square foot round. The gout had knit his fingers into knots. Torturing convulsions from his globy eyes had almost drawn their spheres, that what was life in him seemed torture. This anatomy had, by his young fair fear, a boy. And I believed it was him, for she swore it was, and who would not believe her? Brief. I am to those that prate and have done no companion, to those that boast and have not, a defier, to those that would and cannot, a rejoicer. Such a one I am, and vow that lover never yet made sigh truer than I. Oh, then, most soft, sweet goddess, give me the victory of this question, which is true love's merit, and bless me with a sign of thy great pleasure. O thou, that from 11 to 90 reign'st in mortal bosoms, I give thee thanks for this fair token. Let us rise and bow before the goddess. Time comes on.
O sacred, shadowy, cold, and constant queen, sweet, solitary, pure as wind-fanned snow, I here, thy priest, am humbled for thine altar. Look on thy virgin, and, sacred mistress, lend thine ear to my petition, seasoned with holy fear. This is my last of vestal office. I am bride-habited, but maiden-hearted. A husband I have appointed, but do not know him. Out of two, I should choose one and pray for his success, but I am guiltless of election. Of mine eyes, were I to lose one, they are equal precious, I could doom neither. that which perished should go to it unsentenced. Therefore, most modest queen, he of the two pretenders that best loves me and has the truest title in it, let him take off my wheaten garland, or else grant the file and quality I hold, I may continue in thy band. See what Diana out from the bowels of her holy altar with sacred act advances. But one rose. If well inspired, this battle shall confound both these brave knights. And I, a virgin flower, must grow alone unplucked. The flower is fallen, the tree descends. O mistress, thou here dischargest me. I shall be gathered. I think so, but I know not thine own will. Unclasp thy mystery. I hope she's pleased. Her signs were gracious.
Will you lose this sight?
I had rather see a wren hawk at a fly than this decision. Every blow that falls threats a brave life. Each stroke laments the place whereon it falls, and sounds more like a bell than blade. I will stay here. It is enough my hearing shall be punished with what shall happen, not taint mine eye with dread sights it may shun.
Sir, my good lord, your sister will know further.
Oh, she must. She shall see deeds of honour in their kind, which sometimes show well penciled. Nature now shall make and act the story, the belief both sealed with eye and ear. You must be present. You are the victor's meed, the price and garland to crown the question's title.
Pardon me.
You must be there. This trial is, as it were, in the night, and you the only star to shine.
I am extinct. There is but envy in that light which shows the one the other. Darkness may even now, by casting her black mantle over both that neither could find other, get herself some part of a good name.
You must go.
In faith I will not.
Why, the knights must kindle their valour at your eye. Know of this war you are the treasure, and must needs be by to give the service pay.
Sir, pardon me. The title of a kingdom may be tried out of itself.
Well then, at your pleasure.
Farewell, sister. I am like to know your husband for yourself, by some small start of time. He whom the gods do of the two know best, I pray them he be made your lot.
Arcite is gently visaged, yet his eye is like a sharp weapon in a soft sheath. Mercy and manly courage are bedfellows in his visage. Palamon has a most menacing aspect. His brow is graved and seems to bury what it frowns on. Yet sometimes 'tis not so, but alters to the quality of his thoughts. Long time his eye will dwell upon its object. Melancholy becomes him nobly. So does Arcite's mirth, but Palamon's sadness is a kind of mirth, so mingled as if mirth did make him sad and sadness merry. Hark how yon spurs to spirit do incite the princes to their proof. If I were by, I might do hurt, for they would glance their eyes toward my seat, and in that motion might omit a ward or forfeit an offence which craved that very time. It is much better I am not there. Oh, better never born than minister to such harm.
The cry is a Palamon.
Then he has won. 'Twas ever likely. He looked all grace and success, and he is doubtless the primest of men. I prithee run and tell me how it goes.
Palamon! Still Palamon!
Run and inquire. Poor Arcite, thou hast lost. Upon my right side still I wore thy picture, Palamon's on the left. Why so, I know not. I had no end in it else. Chance would have it so. On the sinister side the heart lies. Palamon had the best boding chance. Clamour is sure the end of the combat.
They said that Palamon had Arcite's body within an inch of the pyramid, but that the cry was general Palamon. But anon the assistants made a brave redemption, and the two bold titlers at this instant are hand to hand at it.
Would they were metamorphosed both into one. Palamon still?
Nay, now the sound is Arcite.
I prithee lay attention to the cry.
Arcite, victory! Arcite, victory!
Set both thine ears to the business.
The cry is Arcite and victory. Hark! Arcite, victory!
Half-sight saw that Arcite was no babe. God's leered his richness and costliness of spirit looked through him. It could no more be hid in him than fire and flax, than humble banks can go to law with waters that drift winds force to raging. I did think good Palamon would miscarry. Yet I knew not why I did think so. Our reasons are not prophets when oft our fancies are. They are coming off. Alas, poor Palamon.
Sister is in expectation, yet quaking and unsettled. Fairest Emily, the gods, by their divine abridgement, have given you this night. Give me your hands, receive you her, you him. Be plighted with a love that grows as you decay.
Emily, to buy you, I have lost what's dearest to me, and yet I purchase cheaply as I do rate your value.
O loved sister, he speaks now of as brave a knight as ever did spur a noble steed. But he that was thus good encountered yet his better. I have heard two emulous Philomels beat the ear of the night with their contentious throats, now one the higher, anon the other, then again the first, and by out-breasted that the sense could not be judged between them. So it fared good space between these kinsmen, till heavens did make hardly one the winner. Wear the garland with joy that you have won. For the subdued, give them our present justice, since I know their lives do but pinch 'em. Let it here be done. The scene's not for our seeing. Go we hence, right joyful with some sorrow. Hippolyta, I see one eye of yours conceives a tear, the which it will deliver.
Is this winning? O all you heavenly powers, where is your mercy? But that your wills have said it must be so, and charged me live to comfort this unfriended, this miserable prince, that cuts away a life more worthy from him than all women, I should and would die too.
Infinite pity that four such eyes should be so fixed on one, that two must needs be blind for it.
So it is.
There's many a man alive that hath outlived the love of the people. Yea, the self-same state stands many a father with his child. Some comfort have we by so considering. We expire, and not without men's pity to live still have their good wishes. We prevent the loathsome misery of age, beguile the gout and rheum that in last hours attend for grey approaches. We come towards the gods young and unwhoppered, not halting under crimes many and stale, that sure shall please the gods sooner than such to give us nectar with them, for we are more clear spirits. My dear kinsmen, whose lives for this poor comfort are laid down, you have sold them too cheap. Adieu, and let my life be now as short as my leave-taking.
Run, say, hold,
Hold! It is a cursed haste you made if you have done so quickly. Noble Palamon, the gods will show their glory in a life that thou art yet to lead.
Can that be? When Venus, I have said, is false, how do things fare?
Arise, great sir, and give the tidings ear that are most dearly sweet and bitter.
What hath waked us from our dream?
List then. Your cousin, mounted upon a steed that Emily did first bestow on him, a black one, owing not a hairworth of white, on this horse is Arcite trotting the stones of Athens. And as he thus went, counting the flinty pavement, dancing as 'twere to the music his own hoofs made, for, as they say, from iron came music's origin, some envious flint darted a spark. The hot horse, hot as fire, took toy at this, and fell to what disorder his power could give his will, bounds, comes on end, forgets school doing being therein trained. Pig-like, he whines at the sharp rowel, which he frets at, rather than any jot obeys, seeks all foul means of boisterous and rough jadery to deceit his lord, who kept it bravely. When naught served, when neither curb would crack, girth break, nor differing plunges disroot his rider whence he grew, but that he kept him tween his legs. On end he stands, that Arcite's legs, being higher than his head, seemed with strange art to hang. His victor's wreath, even then, fell off his head. Yet is he living? But such a vessel 'tis that floats but for the surge that next approaches. He much desires to have some speech with you. Lo, he appears.
O miserable end of our alliance! The gods are mighty. Arcite, if thy heart, thy worthy, manly heart, be yet unbroken, give me thy last words. I am Palamon, one that yet loves thee dying.
Take Emilia, and with her all the world's joy. Reach thy hand. Farewell. I have told my last hour. I was false, yet never treacherous. Forgive me, cousin. One kiss from fair Emilia. 'Tis done. Take her. I die.
Thy brave soul seek Elysium.
I'll close thine eyes, Prince. Blessed souls be with thee. Thou art a right good man, and while I live, this day I give to tears.
And I to honour.
In this place first you fought, even very here I sundered you. Acknowledge to the gods our thanks that you are living. His part is played, and though it were too short, he did it well. Your day is lengthened, and the blissful dew of heaven does arose you. The powerful Venus well hath graced her altar, and given you your love. Our master Mars hath vouched his oracle, and to Arcite gave the grace of the contention. So the deities have showed due justice. Bear this hence.
O cousin, that we should things desire which do cost us the loss of our desire, that naught could buy dear love but loss of dear love.
Never fortune did play a subtler game. The conquered triumphs, the victor has the loss. Yet in the passage the gods have been most equal. Palamon, your kinsman, hath confessed the right of the lady did lie in you, for you first saw her, and even then proclaimed your fancy. He restored her as your stolen jewel, and desired your spirit to send him hence forgiven. The gods my justice take from my hand, and they themselves become the executioners. Lead your lady off, and call your lovers from the stage of death, whom I adopt my friends. A day or two let us look sadly, and give grace unto the funeral of Arcite, in whose end the visages of bridegrooms will put on and smile with Palamon, for whom an hour, but 1 hour since, I was as dearly sorry as glad of Arcite, and am now as glad as for him sorry. O you heavenly charmers, what things you make of us! For what we lack, we laugh. For what we have, are sorry. Still are children in some kind. Let us be thankful for that which is, and with you leave disputes that are above our question. Let's go off and bear us like the time.